Hello, this is Nat, and well, Dying Light works, and Dying Light isn't a bad game, but it is just okay. There, that's the most important information out of the way. It's another open-world zombie survivor horror game, brought to us by Polish developer Techland, maker of Dead Island. But this one has parkour, and a dynamic day-night cycle, whereby the zombies become zombies when night falls. When the sun goes down, things come out to play, or just play a little rougher. And for the first few hours at least, you arm yourself with everything from planks, to planks with nails in them and even table legs. Okay, you get firecrackers to start as well. They are for the purposes of zombie misdirection. And a crafting system allows you to, well, craft a number of alternative items. Because, of course, there's a crafting system. And a very familiar lock-picking minigame, and quite a few other mechanics similar to anybody who's played a game ever really. But that is not technically a negative. Dying Light may not innovate, but it does everything it sets out to, albeit without much flair. Zombie survival games have replaced modern military shooters as the de facto stagnant genre, desperately in need of something fresh and new. Dying Light has functionality, and as we would expect from a full-price title, a little more polished than last year's zombie survival maps. But for me, it also comes with over-familiarity, and a desire to see something fresh in a zombie game, other than the meat. I'd like to see a game make more use of some focused point, pick something about how it wants us to view the zombies. And it would not have to be tacked on. We could simply learn from something like the Dawn of the Dead's not-so-subtle consumerist message, or the dehumanizing nature of a homogenized society. Something that wasn't just, yikes, zombies gonna bite your face, kill him! At least, not all the time, and maybe not in open-world time sinks. I think the problem is that open-world games lose focus when they try to be all things at once. They become jack of all trades and master of none. The crafting is basic, the combat is basic, the parkour is somewhat laborious after the novelty wears off. It's very okay. Everything seems to be working, so there's that. There may be nothing original in the game, but the pieces go together well enough. And as we covered in our Broken Games video, that has been enough of an issue with too many games lately. Although, surely I'm not the only person a little zombied out. Also, we have the definite indie darling of the week in Gravity Ghost, a physics-based platformer puzzler, which allows you to drift around planets and collect stars to grow your hair, which is either better than it sounds, or even better than it sounds, depending on your perspective. You drift around small planetoids and use momentum from gravity, of course, to maneuver. If the art style interests you, if the music catches your ear, and it should, as it's by the FTL composer Ben Brunty, then it's well worth a go as it has a fantastic story to boot. All in all, it uses simplicity to create complexity, and it really is worth your time. Finally, we have EA. Being all EA again. This week you could get Theme Hospital of Origin for free. At the time of recording it was still up, and is a great game if you don't already own it. All you need is an Origin account, so if you haven't already, go get it. But that's it for good EA news. It goes a bit Dungeon Keeper mobile from here on. You know the way cars take fuel to keep on moving? EA have learned of this fascinating detail, and have utilised it as an excellent MTDD. Microtransaction deployment device. In the upcoming mobile game Need for Speed No Limits, EA are heading back to Dungeon Keeper levels of lunacy, with their bids to milk every penny from consumers. When you've participated in a few races, your car's tank will run dry, offering you the opportunity to part with real-world money to top up your digital car. Or you have the honour of waiting a day, before you can drive again. But this being an EA mobile game won't be the only way to part with real-world money, as there will be plenty of other in-app purchasing opportunities to take, such as pimping out your ride. Really, EA must have had their self-awareness monitor switched off when they named the game No Limits, unless they're referring to how far they'll go to get their hands on every penny they can. There is nothing wrong with the idea of in-app purchases, and indeed some games implement them really well, like Peggle. But the worrying trend is for freemium games to place arbitrary obstacles in the way of playing the game, teasing the player with a taste of the game you could be playing if only you bought these crystals, gems, some gold, or in this case fuel. It's a trend of bait and switch that's simply sickening. Whether it's Need for Speed's Awful Limits, Dungeon Keeper Mobile Wallet, Theme Park Mobile Cash Grab, all from EA. These are disgraceful behaviours, with no place in gaming. If the mobile market is to grow, it needs to adapt to more sustainable practices. People will pay to buy good games, if you would just make good games to begin with, and if you just let us buy them outright. Or give us microtransactions which add to the game. And that doesn't mean microtransactions which allow access to the game, rather than creating marketing experiments based around how much we'll actually pay for our nostalgic investments. We are Dinoslippers USB. If you enjoyed this video, please think about giving us a like or a comment below, and subscribe if you'd like to hear more.